Okay, so now we can move to the next part, so provided by Feriel Ramdhane. Okay, and she will show you how you can perform processing inside the XNAT platform.
Yes, thank you, Dario. I will share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Feriel Ramdhane. I'm working on developing image processing tool on XNAT, and today I'm going to show you a very simple demo about how we proceed with the image processing on XNAT, of course using Docker. And but before starting the demo, let me introduce you first and very briefly what is Docker in case you don't know what is Docker. So Docker is an open source platform that allows a user to package an application and its dependency into a Docker container for the development and deployment of software. So what is Docker container? Let's imagine that you would like to build a website or application, and what do you need in order to make it up and running? So for sure, you will need to develop some code, but the code on its own is not enough, and you may need many additional parts. So like database, configuration files, runtime, libraries, and other third-party software. So Docker, it's a tool that allows you to take all the parts and building them together into one package, a box, which is called the container. Now, you can launch this box at any server, including cloud, or a local machine, so your computer. And it will run everywhere in exactly the same predictable way with no additional configuration, installation, and any adjustment requirement for each environment you will run it. So now how we create the Docker container. The Docker container itself is actually built through command line, and it's a build of a Docker file and Docker image. So a Docker file text, Docker file is a file text that contains all the instruction that you would need it to be able to build the Docker image. And then we will actually create all the project code inside this image. And then you can run the Docker using run command to create the containers. Now, why should we use Docker container? And what are the advantages in use Docker container? Actually, running application in containers brings several benefits, like increasing portability. So application running in container can be deployed easily to multiple different operating system and hardware platforms. Also improved scalability, so many containers can place it in the same in a single host. And it offers faster deployment, so it gives flexibility to a user to take their own configuration, put that into code, and further deploy it without any problems. Also enhance productivity. So container tools remove the burden of individual installation and management of each container in your system. So it's allow you to focus in improvement of your application. Also, it offers stronger security, so less access needed to work with the code, which is running in your inside the container. And when, for example, container crash or application with them failed, other container run the same application and can continue to run as usual. And also improve the standardization, which is very important. So you don't need to rebuild your Docker image in development of each code change, and anyone can apply the same Docker container. So it was a fast introduction to Docker. Now let's start this simple demo to show you how we can pull and build Docker container inside XNAT. So we are going to actually build this Docker in XNAT locally. So I'm going to show you how to pull already existed container on a Docker Hub. And then we are going to create a Docker image for first calculation of the quality assessment like SNR, and also noise level estimation. It will be dedicated for duration noise. And we are using the Python, and it will be applied for the uploaded already project from XNAT peak at the scan level. And then I will show you some the same calculation actually at the subject level, and then an example of the noising method at the scan level. But before that, you need to install the XNAT locally, and for sure, so you will get, as my colleague said, an administrative permission to perform all this next step. And you will also need to install container server and batch plug plugin. So in order to allow you to execute your external processing tool in XNAT. Of course, you can find this plugin in the XNAT website, so you can find in the following this link. And once the installation is done, you are connected to your local extent, and you can start. So I will move to my XNAT. Okay, so I will log in to, can you see my screen? Okay, so you can log into XNAT using the administration permission. So once you are here, you can see that the project is already uploaded. So this is via XNAT peak. And you can see that there is an administrative menu here added to your to the main menu. So we can check very fast our data. So I can select here the subject. I go to the experiment, and you can see all the scans are here. And once I click to the manage file, I can see that there is only DICOM folders here. And also in this stage, we cannot run anything to this scan. So you can see that there is no images, Docker images built yet. So let's build our first Docker image. So we go to the administrative menu, we go to plugin setting, then you will be in this page. So compute backend. This is show you the, so that your local SCOT is ready and your Docker Hub URL is fine. So you don't need to do anything. You just go to the next button, image and comment. So basically when you are in the first time here, you will not find any images built, but since I want to save some time, I already built my two already Docker images, and then later I will show you what they do. So in order to pull directly from the Docker Hub, you have to go to the website of the Docker Hub. You look for images, Docker images already there. So we search by XNAT, and you can see that there is already available Docker containers here. You can select which one you want to pull it. And for example, we choose the first one, and it will give you the name here and the tag. This is what we will need in order to pull our image. So how we can pull it? So we go back to XNAT, we added a new image. We should put the same name. So here the name is XNAT DCM290. We paste it here, and also we put the last the version tag, which is, as I told you, you can copy paste from here. Okay, and then you click on pull image, and your image will be installed in XNAT. This image, actually, this Docker image or this container actually is what it's doing is converting DICOM to nifty files. Once it's done, you can see that there is a command created here with the name, same name of your Docker image. And once you click it, so you can see that there is a lot of instruction here that allows you actually to run it in XNAT. So at this point, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to edit, just use it at ease. And so your Docker image is fine. Now, we should, after we install it or we pull it our this image, we have to go to the command configurations. And at this stage, you can see that the this new image is created here. Sorry. So we have the description. So that's it's running the DICOM to Nifty on the scan level, and you have to enable it. So we click here and enable. As you can see, the other two are the one that we created in order to save time. So I don't need at this point to enable it. Then after you enable it at this stage, you have to browse again your project. So we can do it from here. Look for the project, select it, and you go for this action, you select project setting. Once you do it, so as you can see, the other two are already disable. So because we didn't enable it first. And the second one, the new one is already here, and we can do it at this project setting. So now our Docker image is ready, and we can run it for our data. Before test this Docker image, we want to add the new image, but it will be our own image. So how we can do it? So we go to the, I have created a folder that contain the Docker file, the text file that I explained in my previous presentation, and also the created, sorry, it's here. Yeah, and the text file for the requirement, it's included all the toolbooks that I needed to run the main Python code. So this is my Python code in order to run the SNR calculation and the noise level. Once your folder is ready, you can go through your terminal window, and you ask Docker to build your image. So we do Docker build -t, and you give the name of your image. So I will give it as the same as the name of my Python code. So it will be main. You don't see? Okay. Can you see my my terminal window?
But you can go on. I mean, this part and just show how the.
Okay, so I will just, because I needed to build it, so I will run it here.
Okay, please do it if you need it, but then you can go on showing the processing.
Okay. Okay, just a moment. So I will try it with the. No, it's not working here. Sorry. Okay, I just created my image, so I go back to the administrator plugin setting. I click on the image command, and if I show the image hidden here, so you can see that my image, my Docker image is already created. So with the same name here as my Python code. So what we're gonna do here is, as you can see here, there is no command. We need to add the command in order to allow this image, this Docker image running in XNAT. So we go up and we click to a new command. So the file here is empty. So I already created the command file in order also to save time, because there is a lot of instruction to do it. So I copy and I passed here all this instruction. So this new image, it will be named as quality index, and it will be shown with the same name for the users. So I save my command here, and as you can see now, it's ready to be used. Again, I have to go to the command configuration in order to enable it. So at this stage, I will enable all the other images that we created. So this one, it will calculate the same index, so SNR and the noise level, but it will be at the subject level. This one, it will be the same at scan level. And the final one, it will be an application for the non-local mean filter to each scan. So I will enable everything and go back, browse my project, go to the project setting, enable again all the Docker. And now our images is ready. So how can we proceed with this build Docker containers? So I go to my project, select one of the subject that I want to do to proceed it, go to the experiment. And as you can see here, that another icon in new is created. And once you go, for example, for one scan, you can see that all these Docker images are created. Only one, which is at the scan at the subject level, which is here, you can find it in this at this action. So how we can proceed with this? So actually, bulk launch, this one is allow you to proceed with your created Docker individually. So you can select only one scan and go to run container and apply your image, or otherwise you can select all your scans and you can proceed with one of your container. So this is allow you to save time if you don't want to go one by one. So at this stage, I will just select one in order to test it. I will go to number 4, for example. I will apply the first DICOM to Nifty. I will here as an option from the container. I will select it and say, okay. As you can see here, there is an open window that shows you the process of your container. Once it's done, you can see that it's completed. And also, if you go to the history, you can say that you can see that it's completed. Of course, all of this is my previous history, so no need to check it. Okay, so once it's done, we go to the manage file. And as you can see here, we proceeded with the scan number 4. So the scan number 4, you can see we have a new folder created, which is Nifty. And once you open it, you can see your Nifty and your, well, this is a JSON command. So this is what the function is doing. Now let's proceed for the same for the same scan, the one that we created. So to calculate the quality index, I will select here from the rain container my Docker image. So again, you can proceed with the, you can see the processing here. And once it's done, okay. So It's failed here. I don't know why at the moment. So let's see. We can see the error from this button actually. Okay, we can see the other container, because now I have to to fix this one. I don't know why it's not working. It was working before. Anyway, so we can go to the next one. Let's see if it's work. Yeah, the container is working, the processing is done. So this is for the applying the denoising filter. Okay, so it's done. We go back to the manage file. Okay, so for the folder number 4, it's running, it's done, and there is the denoised folder is here. So once we open it, we can see that it's saved the denoised already DICOM data, and also create a JPEG image. So if we click to this JPEG, we can download it and see what's give us. So you can see my screen? No?
Not at the JPEG actually.
Okay, let me share all my screen, because I think this is the point. Can you see it now? Okay, so you can see that this container actually create a JPEG file showing you the original image, the non-local mean, and the residual, which is the differentiation between the two images. Okay, so this is how we do it for the denoising. I will go through how to calculate the indexes along all the subject. Let's try if it's work or not, not like the other one. So let me check here. So here is saying that you will proceed to all this section. So it will be the subject control. We will run the container, and let's hope it's working. You just need a few seconds. As you can see here, it's proceeding. Refresh again. Okay, it's done. So we go back to the manage file. We go to the resources here, and you can see that there is, so the resource is the output for all these scans. And you can see that it's creating a quality index folder. We open it, and we can find here an Excel file showing the an Excel file with once we download it, we can open it and see that it calculates all the SNR and the noise level for all the scans that we have here. We can do the same now for all the subject that you have. So we go back here to the project level. We have this new action processing dashboard. So we can select the MRI section, and we can see that it's give you all the subject that you have. So now we want to proceed all the subject, not only subject by subject. So we can select all them. We go to the select job, select the same container that we are created, and we go to the Lancet job. Once we do this, so here it's saying this window that we are proceeding for 2 subjects here, the control and the treated. We can click on the right container, and the processing, it will start. So we can go to here in this button. We can select it and see that the container is running for both subjects. I can refresh. Still finalizing. So for the subject control is done, and we need to wait for the next subject. So now it's fine. We go now to our subject. You can see. So for the first one, we did it for the both methods. So it will be here, as you can see. And for the second one, we go back to the project. We go to the treated MRI section, and you can see at the manage file here that there is this new folder created. And once you open it, you can find that there is this new folder with the name of the project. We select it and we get the final Excel file. So again, we have all the values for all the scans. So yeah, so that's it for me. Thank you for attention. And if you have any question, I will be happy to answer it.
Okay, so thanks, Feriel.
Thank
So
you.
just one clarification. So you showed that you entered as a administrator privilege in order to let's say build and so in order to put into the XNAT server the Docker images for your processing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but then of course the admin is needed only to upload the Docker images. But then when you want to run the images, you can of course be let's say just a user. So meaning if you are the owner of the project or the team member or the collaborator, then you can also run these is processing. So meaning that the admin is only needed to upload your processing code, your processing code within the Docker container, and then you can, as a user, run this type of processing. Okay, the question for the audience regarding this processing step. So just one simple question, Feriel, which kind of processing code can you run into the XNAT? Or can you put into the Docker container? You show example with Python.
Yes, here I'm using Python, but you can use any other language, programming language, so MATLAB or wherever, so you can do it. Okay,
so essentially just a container. So if you have your own code, you can put it, and then
yeah,
of course,
and launch it. So yeah, you can run
so
it.
probably slight modification in order to receive the DECOM data. But